All right, welcome to City Reality Radar. Today we're diving deep into Hyderabad. This place is absolutely one of the most electric real estate markets in India right now. So here's what we're going to do. We'll break down the numbers, I'll show you exactly where the investment hotspots are, and then we'll look at the massive projects that are just pouring fuel on this fire. Ready? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just kick things off with a real powerhouse stat. Hyderabad is number 2. That's right, number 2 in all of India as the top spot for Global Capability Centers, or GCCs. Now, if you're not familiar, GCCs are basically the brains of the operation for huge global companies. We're talking about the core tech, the strategy hubs, so when giants like Google or Amazon decide to expand their most important work, they're looking right at Hyderabad. This isn't just some random ranking, folks. It is a massive, massive vote of confidence from the biggest players on the planet.
So yeah, that number 2 ranking is the big headline, right? But what's the story behind the headline? Let's dig into the actual data, the numbers that are feeding this incredible boom, and really see what makes this market tick.
First up, get ready for this number. It's honestly kind of staggering. By 2030, Hyderabad is projected to have something like 200 million square feet of office space. I mean, it's hard to even wrap your head around that. Just try to picture an entire city's worth of new skyscrapers popping up. This isn't just, steady growth. It's a flat-out explosion in commercial real estate.
And here's why that number is so important for the whole country. By 2030, Hyderabad alone will make up a whopping 15% of India's, and I mean entire office stock. Think about that. This city isn't just another player in the game anymore. It's becoming a foundational pillar of the entire nation's commercial real estate scene.
Okay, so for anyone watching, here's the million-dollar question, right? What does all this crazy demand actually mean for your wallet, for returns? Well, take a look. We're seeing projected rental growth somewhere between 15 and 25%. That's a serious, tangible return on investment, and it's all being pushed by this just relentless demand for quality office space.
And look, it's not just about building more and more. It's about building smarter. A pretty significant 18% of the city's office buildings are green certified. Now you might think, okay, so what? Well, here's why it matters. The big modern companies, they demand sustainability. So this focus on green building makes Hyderabad's market super resilient and perfectly set up for what's coming next.
All right, so the big picture numbers are just incredible, right? Almost hard to believe. But that brings us to the real question, the one that matters for any investor, any business, anyone looking to buy a home. With stats this strong, where exactly is the opportunity?
And that brings us to our next section, your high ROI hotspots map. Think of this as the treasure map for Hyderabad. We're going to pinpoint the solid core zones and also the up-and-coming areas where the next big growth spurt is going to happen.
So we've broken it down into 2 simple categories. On the left, you've got your core or preferred spots. These are the blue chip players, right? The established IT hubs like Gachibowli and the financial district. Then, on the right, you've got the emerging hotspots. These are the ones to watch. Places like Adibatla and Shankarpally, that's where the next big wave of development is heading. It's the difference between buying a blue chip stock and getting in on a hot startup.
And just to give you a taste of how unique each of these areas is, take a look at Kokapet. It's being called a luxury growth corridor. See, that's not just another generic suburb. It's being carefully crafted into a premium, high-end destination. And that's the key. Every single one of these hotspots has its own vibe, its own story, and its own unique investment profile.
Now, it's super easy to get excited looking at a list of hotspots like that. But, the really smart question, the one you should be asking, is, okay, but what's actually driving all this? And maybe more importantly, how do we know this isn't just a bubble? What's going to keep this momentum going?
Well, the answer is all about massive, deliberate, strategic planning. This isn't happening by accident. So now we're going to look at the engines behind the engine, the absolute mega projects that are shaping the city's future and unlocking that next wave of growth.
And this is where you really see the scale of the ambition. I mean, we are talking about city-defining projects here. A 30,000-acre future city, a complete redesign of the Musi Riverfront. Projects that are weaving technology right into the fabric of the city. These are not just simple upgrades, people. They're creating brand new centers of economic gravity from the ground up. So what's the glue that holds all of this together? A truly massive infrastructure backbone. You've got the regional ring road, the RRR, which is an absolute game changer for getting around.
Then you add in new expressways, huge expansions to the metro, and these specialized hubs like a Pharma City and an AI city, and it's all being guided by a mega master plan that looks all the way out to 2050. This is what long-term vision looks like in the real world.
So you take a step back, you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, the huge global demand, that staggering commercial growth, the laser-focused investment hotspots, and these truly visionary mega projects, and the conclusion is just undeniable. Hyderabad isn't just part of India's future real estate story, it is leading the revolution.
And that really brings us to the final thought. The plan is laid out, the construction is happening right now, the vision stretches out for decades, so the only question that's really left is a personal one. As Hyderabad builds the city of 2050, where will you be?